Welcome to, again, the third round of Swiss. This is game 2. Myself once more on the right there playing NBA Making News, and Sam from Coventry on the left playing Andromeda. I didn't take a mulligan. Sam is in the midst of doing so right now. How could he possibly have a bad Andy hand? Just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so as you know from the first match, he did very well. He was able to lock his service down very effectively, keep a res Sansan for long enough to be able to score out for the win, and it was close, but not quite close enough on my part. Only managed the 4 points. Hoping for a good NBN game here. Now, the real quandary NBN find themselves at the moment in is: do you keep a okay-ish hand if you have a sweeps week against Andy? You can see from my cards there that I have the opening hand sweeps week, I have a Jackson Howard, but I have two pieces of ice that don't end the run, i.e. a Grim and a Data Raven. I just drew up there into a Sansan. I was kind of hoping for some early game ice, but as it is, unfortunately not. I'm putting the Data Raven there on top of R&D. I'm not quite sure what I'm putting there in front of HQ, possibly the Grim, but I am going to put a sweeps week down for sure to take 8 credits. Thank you very much. So it's a nice strong economic start at the very least, but the ice there in front of those servers is not optimal. The Data Raven can potentially do work in this deck, but it will not end the run, and that is a problem. You want them to go and fetch their breakers, really. But still, happy nevertheless to see the opening sweeps week there against Andy. And there's certainly no reason not to play it now. So he'll start us off with a sure gamble and an easy mark, taking himself up to the same money, almost. He'll play a same old thing, and then play a fairy. So he uses all 4 cards, but no early game aggression. No Desperado. So I've got 2 Beals in hand there, which seems to be the theme of my day. I seem to always have 2 Beals. I'm going to res and use Jackson Howard to draw 2. Looking for ice here to protect a Sansan. So I have a Sansan, and I have 4 points worth of 3/2s. I just do not have the ability to actually protect it currently. I think that's an RSVP there in hand as well, so that's yet another non-end the run piece of ice, of which I think there are only 3 or 4. I have 2 Data Ravens, 1 Grim, and I have 1 RSVP, so a little bit unlucky here to not see any end the run ice. He's going to install a Bank Job and a John Masanori. So Bank Job is certainly living the dream there, at which point I will use the Jackson Howard rather than let him have the Bank Job money. I think here we're just deciding as to what happens money-wise with the what happens with the John Masanori. It wasn't a successful run, so he doesn't get the Bank Job, but equally it wasn't an unsuccessful run, so he doesn't get the tag with John Masanori. Because the server ceased to exist, so there can't possibly be an unsuccessful run, but neither can it be considered a successful one either. So I deny him that and use the Jackson Howard rather than let him take the cash. And again, I just shuffle back in the early doors economy I had. But to be honest, the draw probably would have been more useful to me there, but thankfully, as you can see, I've just drawn up into Jackson Howard number 2. I need this ice, really do need this ice. I'm going to install res and draw 2. I see a Caduceus there, which is good. I could always put the RSVP in front of a Sansan. It can be quite strong, but I'm going to put the Caduceus there, and I'm going to put the RSVP on top of the Caduceus. Put the Sansan there, so that would be the idea anyway long term. So I've got a plan. It's a good plan. Next turn I should be able to start putting agendas into the remote server. He's going to put a Desperado down, already building himself a hefty rig. He does have a fairy to get through the Caduceus, and he won't have to spend any money to do so, so the RSVP is only going to come into effect once he gets through it. So I'm quite happy when he runs there, because I kind of want him to use his fairy, if I can. Let's see if he does. No, looks like he's not going to, so at which point it comes Trace-tastic. So I'm just going to leave it at 3, make him pay the credits, because it's probably more advantageous to make him pay than me at the moment, even if he has the bank job. And then I'm going to make it trace 4, end the run, which he cannot afford to break. Probably, again, maybe a better play would have been to put 1 extra credit into it. Economically would have given me an advantage there. He still has the bank job, he still has the Desperado. He has the means to be able to go and get the money he needs. I'm really not sure why the table's wobbling so much, I apologise about that. Something somewhere was obviously not sat right. Either that or someone's behind it shaking it. So he still has the ferry out. This is the quandary I'm in and considering at the moment. With the ferry out, the RSVP isn't going to accomplish a great deal. He doesn't have a huge amount of cash, but he can get up to quite a significant level of cash by cashing in his bank job. So he could take 8 credits for that, which would be more than enough for him to get back in and trash the Sansan. However, if he uses the... Oh, so he's used it there already. Okay, fine. So he has gone in. I think we were discussing there whether he was going to break the trace or not. Breaks the trace, goes in, and uses the bank job. Fine. So I've drawn an Ash there, I believe, which is probably ideal. I don't know what I do here, but the smart play is probably to install the Ash, install the RSVP, and install the Sansan. I was going to trash the Jackson Howard, and then I thought, actually, no, don't need to, it's all good. So I'm going to install. He knows there's no agenda in there. So, I don't know, maybe I should have trashed the Sansan, I've trashed the Jackson. But that's what I'm going to do anyway. So I've now got an Ash, I've got a Sansan, and I've got a Jackson Howard. And I have, a good amount to keep him out here. He still can get through. I've only got the Grim there on HQ. I think he's first click making a run on HQ. And I think there I make a mistake. I probably should have rezzed it, just to get rid of the fairy. And sure enough, the turn before I start scoring out my agendas is the turn he's going to go in and try and nick them. So very good play on his part. Exactly the right time to go in and take it. I've only got 2 cards in hand, so he's got another 50% chance of hitting an agenda if he goes back at HQ. He is going to run into a Data Raven, which I'll res. So he has to end the run or take a tag. He'll take 2 tags if he ends the run with Masanori. So at which point he pretty much says, well, I might as well take the tag. There's no point taking 2. So he'll take the tag and run through on the trace. He's got plenty of cash. This is where you kind of hope for a closed accounts and if he keeps the tag. So I'll bump the trace up by 2. He will pay, so indicating that he's going to clear the tag, certainly. Oh, he'll run in and score the Astro. That would have been nice. Yeah, next turn, Res Sansan score an Astro. That would have been lovely, but no. And yet again, early doors Astro proving rather elusive for me. But c'est la vie, c'est la vie. But oh, what's that I've just drawn up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, that would be an Astro script. So that kind of makes my my choices a little bit easier. So I will res the Sansan, trash the Jackson Howard. So I res for 6. This is going to cost me all my monies effectively, but it's definitely worthwhile. And I will score the Astro script. Yeah! Early Astro. Fantastic. First time all day. Will it reap dividends, or will it in fact be a bit pointless? He's already on the 4 points. He's already denied me 1 Astro. There's only 1 left in the deck. It's not in hand, though I do have a Beal in hand. A lot of 3-2s already going out early doors. And he's loaded, absolutely loaded, and this is the time of account siphon really. I'm only on 1 credit, he's not going to do it yet, but as soon as I start to build up some funds, he can significantly deny me any cash with account siphons. There's only a Grim on top of HQ at the moment. I'm not forcing him to go and fetch any breakers, because he can pretty much do them himself. The Data Raven isn't accomplishing a huge amount at the moment. The Grim certainly won't. And I've got long-term problems here with stability. I still haven't really seen any ice. I've got a hedge fund and a Beal in hand. This is a deck, again a 45 card deck with 17 pieces of ice. So there's the Beal. He had a 1 in 2 chance, so it was my own fault really. So he's on 6 points. He's on match point. He's got the Data Sucker, which he probably wanted to put down first. He's going to run through the Data Raven. I'm just going to bump the trace up by 2. He's still undecided as to whether he wants to leave me the ability to give him a tag at will. He'll see an Eli, so he'll beat the trace and run through an access. We'll get his Data Sucker token, so assembling the rig. I think we're just discussing here if he has a click left, and I'm pretty sure he has 1 left. So I've got a mountain to climb now, it has to be said. I'm sat on 2 points to 6. I do have the scored Astro. I even have a Res Sansan, but I can't do anything with it currently. I'll take 3 credits and pass the turn over, so that leaves me on 4. And we're looking at account siphon range here, which he must surely have at this stage. I can't quite see his cards, unfortunately. He's going to draw first click. Oh, maybe not. I think he's going to run Archive. Something seems to make sense since he gets the Data Sucker, Desperado credit, and a Mercenary. No, he's going to run HQ. Sorry, I tell a lie. So he's just testing out, I expect. He's just trying to find his jab for the account siphon. But irrespective, the value he's getting off his runs currently is causing me real problems. I credit a Desperado and a Data Sucker for a successful run is a lot of problem. That's a lot of tempo. But hey, still have Res Sansan, so he kind of has to go through an R&D, make sure that there's not an agenda there. Because if there is, and it's an Astro, then he's back in having problems. He's putting a Yogg down there. Probably doesn't need to do that, to be honest. It's taking all his money up, and he hasn't actually seen a code get yet, either in hand or on the board. So he probably could have afforded to wait there, to be truthful. Surprised that he played it. Maybe he just had lots more cards he wanted to keep in hand. Didn't want to discard any this turn, so he thought I might as well get the breaker out on the board. And he'll discard a Desperado that he doesn't need. So I'll draw see a Bernice May. Not what I need. Need some ice. Need lots of ice. Need end the run ice. I need to lock down R&D quick. So I will take credit. I'll hedge fund second click, taking me back up to some decent cash range. And I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to... Oh, I've got one. So I've got the Eli, of course. I've got the Eli there, which I'm putting on top of R&D, which he can still get through with a click. Clickety click click click. He'll run HQ. And no res, so he'll access the Bernice May, which he cannot afford to trash, I believe. Bernice May, certainly a win-win card. It's expensive to trash, costs nothing to res, grants tags, lovely. And this deck does have tag punishment in the shape of closed accounts and market research. Though there's no doubt here that Sam's playing very cautiously around tags. He doesn't know if I have Scorched or mid-seasons or whatever it might be, so he's being very cautious and he's not going crazy. Psychographics into a Beal could still put him into a losing position if he starts going tag me, so caution being the watchword here. He's in control, he's on 6 points, just waiting for the match. And oh, there's a market research. Yeah, great, that's exactly what I want to see. So I can score it. But at the same time, I don't want to. I certainly don't want to use the AstroScript token to score out a market research. That is not what I want to do. If he becomes tagged, well, suddenly that's worthwhile. And if I'd had a token on Data Raven here, I would certainly use it in order to be able to score out a market research for 3 points. That takes me on to match point, and that's a big deal. So I'm going to leave it in hand, simply because A, I can't afford for it to be stolen in that remote server, which he can almost certainly get through. And B, 2 points doesn't help me a huge amount here, whereas 3 points helps me enormously. And I don't want to use that AstroScript token until I'm sure it puts me in a better position. And actually losing the Astro token at this stage, I think, puts me in a worse position. So it's either kind of 3 or bust here. He's going to put the Corroder down, giving him an effective full breaker sweep. Though not a lot of funds to use it. Hasn't seen his Katie Jones. Assuming he has them in the deck, I'm pretty sure he does. So he'll run HQ, at which point I will res the Bernice May. And again, the idea here is I really want to give him a tag and for it to stick. If it sticks, I get a 3-pointer to play with, and that's not a small deal. So I want him to keep this tag. He's got a click left, so if he takes a tag, he can still clear it. But I'm hoping beyond hope he suddenly decides to go tag me here. And throws caution to the wind. He doesn't have a Plascrete, so he's going to be a little bit cautious. He's not going to trash the Bernice, by the looks of it. Plenty of Data Sucker tokens. Runs are not going to be uneconomical for him now. The Eli I've just installed is only going to cost him 2 to break. So he is going to trash the Bernice, sorry, for 3. And he's going to access a card. So long as he doesn't take out the market research from hand here, it's all good. And there's only 1 agenda in hand. It's like a 1 in 5, 1 in 4 chance, so that's fine. He's going to see a Viper, which doesn't do a great deal now that he's got a Data Sucker and a Yogg out. And he's going to... so he gets his draw with Masanori. And he's going to account siphon. Interesting. So here's the quandary. I have enough money to res the Grim and still score out the market research. But if I res the Grim and he drains me for 3, I no longer have the money to score the market research. He's going to tag me hard now, so he's going to take an extra 2 tags if he does account siphon me. So the temptation here is, okay, well, do I res the Grim, or do I just let him take the money and use the opportunity to score a 3-point agenda? And I decide I'm going to res the Grim. I think, looking back here, again in retrospect, I probably would... probably wouldn't have. I probably would have preferred to just let him through and take the money. But he is skint, so denying him 4 credits is not a small deal. He is going to use the ferry to get through, which obviously makes sense because I would have popped off that Data Sucker like no tomorrow otherwise. He's going to drain me a 3, and he's going to take 6, which is fine. He no longer has the ability to get through that remote unless he beats the trace. That's okay, that's fine. I've got a Beanstalk in hand there, into a hedge fund, so that's good. But it would only leave me with 2 cards in hand. But he's not going to get through that Grim again in a hurry. He needs to find a permanent solution for that. Either another Fairy as a temporary measure, or perhaps a Ninja, or a Fem, which is probably the ideal solution. So I'm just making that decision as to what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a credit, I'm going to Beanstalk, and I'm going to... I'm still obviously 1 short of the hedge fund. Take another credit and pass the turn over. So back up to 5. It's unlikely he's going to account siphon me here purely because... Oh, he's going to lawyer up and clear 2 tags. So now I'm thinking, oh, my chance of scoring the market research is gone. No, he's clearing those tags. He's got 1 left, but he's still got 2 clicks left. And I'm not expecting now to be able to score that market research for 3 points. Obviously, Lawyer Up doing good work there, and meaning that he can suddenly take it back from going tag me to not. Otherwise I'd be tempted to pop off that same old thing, certainly. Deny him access to further account siphons. So he's going to run on archives for all the value. And now we're just, again, he's having a look, and I'm just, all I'm thinking in my head at the moment is, please don't clear the tag, please don't clear the tag, leave it, no, don't clear it. And thankfully he doesn't, he just takes a credit, so I am over the moon and overjoyed with that. It gives me a foot back in the game, and I'm not going to hesitate here as to, you know, scoring out this agenda. I still have long-term problems in R&D, but not scoring a 3-pointer would be stupid. Scoring a 3-pointer from hand, yes please. So we'll install, use the Astro token, and advance 3 times, sorry, yeah, twice, and score market research for 3 points, taking me up to 5, and also then taking me on to match point. And now he has problems as well. I've got a Res Sansan, I've got 5 points. He has to really R&D lock now and try and make sure that I don't see the agenda he needs. If I have it in hand, he's got even more problems. So here comes the R&D interface, click 1. So R&D lock is the angle he's coming from. He obviously doesn't think I have it in hand. Click 2, he's going to run. And I have enough money to bring up the Eli, which I do for 3. So 3 credits gone. That takes me back down to 0. He's going to use 2 data suckers, a bad pub, and a credit to break. And then a further... Oh, sorry, I think he's deciding what he's going to do there with the tags. At this stage, I think he's just going to say, I'm going tag me, so that's fine. I don't bother bumping the trace up, but I will take a token just in case. He's going to run, see a closed accounts, and a piece of ice. So, you know, the closed accounts is not what he wants. And now I've got a token on Data Raven. There's kind of no getting around it now. He's going to be tagged when it counts. Either it be another 3-pointer or, well, I don't need a 3-pointer anymore, but whether it be a 3-pointer, whether it be a closed accounts now, he's got problems economically. And denying me that top deck agenda is order of business 1, 2, and 3 for him. Be nice to have an Astro left, but I've still got a Res Sansan, so all is well. I'm surprised he hasn't gone in to trash that. I still have the Ash there protecting it, so it cost him a fair few bob to get through and trash the Sansan. Got the closed accounts, but I'm new mini. And also, I've got no pieces of ice there in hand that actually accomplish much against him. The Vipers do diddly squat with the Yogg and the Data Suckers on the board. And I've got 2 of them, so that's not great. And that's the problem. Data Suckers do wreck this deck. A lot of my ice is at 4 strength. And as a result, Data Suckers turn my taxing ice into not so taxing ice. So I'll just take 3 for my 10. Still has the same old thing in play. He's just going to use and take some money with his sure gambles, and he's done. I think he's going to run. Sorry, he's going to run on R&D last click. At least the data suckers are going down. That's positive. I get another token from my Data Raven, and although it doesn't matter at this stage, I was going through the pretense of putting the tokens on purely to fake out the psychographics win. You know, again, it's a very viable way of fast advancing a card, and I wanted to give the impression of that I had a psychographics in the deck, which, to be fair, would have been quite nice at this stage because it would have given me a fast advance target. But I'm not going to see an agenda at this rate because he is R&D locking me very effectively, and although it's costing him a few bob, he's got plenty of cash. So on 3 credits, I've got a hedge fund in hand, so the temptation is to take 2 credits in hedge fund, maybe put a few more pieces of ice around. I've got money issues here, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 2 credits, and then I am going to hedge fund. Oh, no, sorry. Tell a lie, I'm going to close the accounts. So I'm going to take all his cash. Pass the turnover. Again, it would have been nice to have the agenda, but I don't. But I've got to slow him down some way. Now he's used all his burst economy. Seems like a good time as any to do it. And I still have the hedge fund there in hand to build up my cash. Kind of need a Jackson Howard here to draw through the R&D lock, but I've already seen two of them. There's only one left in the deck. One of them's in archives and one's been removed from the game. He's going to account siphon, which is a pretty good way of doing it. But he's got no means to break the Grim. So I'm going to trash the Corroder, which I think was a mistake. I probably should have trashed the Yogg or trashed the Data Sucker. I'm not sure why I trashed the Corroder. I think the Yogg would have been a far better target. Anyway, I res an Ash in the remote to deny him credits. So he only gained 4 from that rather than 8. He obviously gains 2 tags. And again, that was just a case of, yeah, I'll deny him. Yeah, I'm not sure why I took the Corroder there. I'm really not sure. I think I was just thinking about the protection of R&D. He now plays another Corroder, so that was a fat lot of good. But taking the Yogg would have made a big difference, I think. Meant, those Vipers I have in hand suddenly become incredibly problematic for him to deal with. And most criminal decks don't pack a huge amount of redundancy for code gates. I've got an RSVP there on top of that remote as well, which would have done some good work. Yeah, definitely the wrong target there in retrospect. Would have been much better off taking some cash and getting ready to put those Vipers on my centrals. To enable the score. He is going to discard... Oh, sorry, he's going to emergency shut down the Grim. So, yeah, problems there. Real problems. And, yeah, I think the wrong play. Getting rid of the Yogg. Almost certainly the right idea there. But at the very least now, it's going to take him 3 clicks to get through... Oh, sorry, I guess the idea was, for a hit to take 3 clicks to get through R&D without a Corroder. Had a spare one, so that plan is for naught. It's got plenty of tags. Psychographics sure would have been nice with a bit of cash. But still, got a red Sansan, an Ash protecting it. Although he has a bad pub, he doesn't have a huge amount of money. So I'm going to... Oh, I'm having a think here. I think I'm going to take some cash. Take 2. I'm then going to put 3 tags on him. And again, that's just to keep up the illusion of psychographics win. I install the Viper over R&D. Or no, sorry, I tell a lie. I think I put another Eli there to make it either A, 2 click intensive for him to be able to get through, or B, 2 cash intensive. Certainly Data Sucker intensive. That's 4 Data Suckers and 4 credits potentially at the very best. And he can't click through it anymore. So trying to lock down R&D as best as possible, because that is the whole song and dance now. Don't have the money to res it yet. But hey, there we go. He's got a Dirty Laundry. Archives, I think. Oh, sorry, HQ. Because he knows I can't res the Grim. See a Viper. Again, it just gives him so much tempo. Running through there, seeing all the cards, seeing a card, seeing a credit, and seeing a Data Sucker token just gives him so much tempo and so much ability, a great ability to be able to dictate the pace of the game. So I'll take 3 credits, take him up to 4. He will use the same old thing to account siphon me, which I can't do anything about. And again, that's... I probably should have cleared it. I probably should have taken out the same old thing there. I could have popped it last turn. As soon as I built up to 4 or 5 credits, that was always on the cards. And possibly another little misplay there. It would have been much better to pay the 2 credits to pop off his same old thing than to lose all 4 credits and give him 8. So he'll run through an R&D. Not seeing the agenda, so he has been unlucky there with his R&D accesses. There's a sweep there, by the looks of it, coming up soon. So he has been definitely unfortunate, because I've got nothing in hand. So they're all in there. There's nothing in archives. I'm just going to take 3 credits, again, and discard. I'm not sure what I discarded there. He'll run through an HQ. He knows I can't res the Grim. He'll gain a credit, a data sucker, and a card. Ugh. And see another Eli. Ooh, triple Eli's on R&D. That sounds like fun. I've got 2 hedge funds in hand, so I can get up to I get my cash up pretty quick here. He'll play an easy mark. So he has literally seen every piece of burst economy now, which isn't surprising given the rate he's accelerating through his deck. And we are still at 6 points to 5 after about 15-20 minutes. Doing my very best to keep him out here, but it is very much seat of the pants time, as our cousins over across the Atlantic would say. So he'll run Archive C wraparound. So that's what I discarded. Wraparound, not going to do a huge amount with the Corroder out on the board. And I will mandatory draw for the sweeps week and see him. I'm not sure how many cards he has in hand. I think it's 4 or 5. Either way, it's good enough to be able to go sweeps week, hedge fund, or maybe sweeps week, hedge fund install over R&D. Problem is, I haven't got a huge amount of decent ice to be able to stop him. And look at that big fat pile of credits he has there. It's nothing's going to keep him out for long. I'm going to draw. And sweeps week. So I'm just deciding here now at this stage to look for the agenda. I was kind of hoping I could break the R&D lock and get lucky on the 3rd click. Discard the Vipers that aren't going to do anything. I kind of knew there I have to find the agenda before he does. And I can still score it, still have a Res Sansan. He's going to test run for a Fem and make sure that he can get him. Another nice little trick there in Andy, not what you'd expect. So he will Fem the Eli that I've placed on the outermost piece of ice on R&D. I'm saying don't worry about it, there's only about 4 cards left there, I'm not going to bother cutting them. He will account siphon me, 2nd click. I have lost track of how many account siphons that is now, but it's a fair old few. So I will have to lose 5. He gains 10 and 2 tags. At this stage, tags obviously are largely irrelevant. And he gets his credit, a card and a data sucker. He will dirty laundry R&D, because he might as well. He knows he can get in. And this is the kind of point where you're thinking, yeah, this is probably it, and indeed it is. There's the market research, so that wouldn't have done me any good anyway, or there's all the agendas in fact. So yeah, the market research wouldn't have been any good to me anyway. He would have been able to go in and taken that, so if I had top deck and market research, would have been next to useless. But he played very well here. He played very patiently actually for an Andy deck, with early game aggression when it counted against HQ, took out those those beals that I was hoping to score out with the Sansan early, and obviously saw another early Astra script as well, and just R&D locked me, pure and simple. Didn't see the third Jackson Howard I needed to potentially break through that R&D lock and find the agenda I wanted to be able to... sorry, it was a Caduceus there, not an Eli. But yeah, so he played a very controlling game. Didn't worry about the Res Sansan at all. Didn't have to be fair. He just denied me the agendas in R&D and prevented me from finding the winning agenda on 5 points. So close in many respects, but I think it's safe to say Sam had a dominant position there, played very well, and so I then take myself on to 3 wins, 3 losses, and move on to the next round.